I'd like to speak today about the idea of simchas achayim. It's critical in a home, no matter what the matzav is, to try to show simcha at all times. Not to be down and depressed. It's very hard when a person is unemployed, let's say, and parnasa goes hard, which can create shalom bayis problems and other issues. Very, very difficult, but I want to tell you about my mama, my mother, last shown. When my father was nifter, we were left literally penniless. And my mother was a very broken lady. She was a Holocaust survivor. Yet she came here and became a major Yaakov teacher, maybe the first Yaakov teacher in America. And suddenly she's alone again. She was a widow for longer than she was married. And a bunch of kids to marry off. And it was difficult. $0 mamish. I remember my entire life, don't feel bad for me, I remember my entire life wearing a brand new shirt, a weekday shirt, or wear a pair of pants. We used to get a suit. My father would take us to Manhattan to get a non-shot in the suit as kids, and a pair of shoes was new every year. We didn't have any money. But you know what? My mother had a certain simchas achayim. She may have cried herself to sleep at night. It's possible. And maybe she certainly did that. But around us, she kept a simcha in the home. I remember coming home at night from Shiva late at night. She'd be waiting, be nervous sometimes because I came home late. I used to come home 11 o'clock at night. She'd be nervous. We were out Yankel. I almost called the police, but then we'd sit down and shmooze and laugh and talk. And she made a simcha in the house. She didn't let us get down. And she herself didn't show the down. Because simchas achayim is highly critical. There are some people that are very poor, and it's rachmanis on them, and our job is to help those poor people. But they carry it on the sleeve. That's not good. Not good. When kids grow up thinking we're poor, we have nothing. My mother stretched. When we wanted to have something, she stretched with all kinds of possible ways to somehow get us what we wanted, so we could have the proper simchas achayim. I remember one time, during Shiva for my father, imagine this, during Shiva for my father's Levaya was on a Wednesday, and Shabbos morning we came down the steps, and the whole house was ransacked totally, destroyed, tefillin on the floor, everything. We felt maybe there was a powder on the steps that we found, and this caused us to sleep through whatever happened during the night. And we all started crying. Here we are, my father was nifter suddenly on a Tuesday night. It's not even 3-4 days, it's nothing. And here we are suddenly, the house is destroyed, ransacked, and we're all crying. And my mother, Shalom, comes down the steps. She sees what's going on in her house. She says, Kindlech, was weint hier? You are never to cry, she said to us, about something you could replace with money. One day you'll replace it with money that we'll have. It was her house. Her husband was just nifter. And we had a whole different cook on it. That has stayed with me forever, by the way. We can't let our financial ideas and we think we'll be rich, we'll make it. Dr. Pasuk Kehelis, Shleim HaMelech. Everyone's learning Kehelis with Rashi. It jumped out at me. Mesuka Shnasa Oived. Sweet is the sleep of the one who works hard. In Ma'at, a little, in Harbe, Yaichel. Vasava la'ashir, and even if the ashir, the rich man, is satiated, he has whatever he needs, and he doesn't let him sleep. We think we'd have a lot of money. We'd be givaldig. Money does not bring simcha. Etc. Chuck Rashi. You know why? Because somebody has lots of businesses. Bal prak mitoyes harbe. And all night long he's thinking about his businesses and he can't sleep. One spoke to a fellow who told me that he sleeps with his cell phone under his pillow in case there's a deal coming from China. I said, that's why you're a nervous wreck. You don't sleep. That's not going to give you simcha. Simcha will come when you feel it. I have a wife. I have children. I have a family. I go to shul Friday night. I come home with my kids. We're going to sit around the Shabbos table. We're going to sing Zmiros. We're going to do whatever we have to do to make a simcha in our homes. That's the critical element. To have simcha. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done. How do you compartmentalize? Sometimes I have to speak by a Levaya Rachman al-Sana in the afternoon. That night I'm dancing by a Talmud's wedding. I've learned, I've tried. Sometimes I have it hard. Of course I have it hard sometimes, being besimcha. It's very, very difficult. I know I have it hard sometimes, but I try. Speaking of Levaya, now it's time for a chasana. You gotta take care. Simcha is the key. Keep that happiness and joy in your homes. Don't let other pressures get to you. You can't let that happen. If you will do that, you'll have happy children. Zufriedene kids who are zufrieden with their life, will have whatever they want, etc., etc., etc. May you all be zeichet, have real simcha in your homes. Thank you very much for listening.